Hey, it's Lauren Jackson from Kids Ministry Circle. Kids Ministry Circle is a community for kids ministry leaders to be encouraged and equipped to love and serve the local church. Today, we are talking about the 3 P's to Promotion Sunday. Now, the season surrounding Promotion Sunday can be such a bittersweet time. Whether it's 5th or 6th graders, you are saying goodbye to a group of kids as they head into this crazy world of student or youth ministry. It can be especially bittersweet if you have known these kids and watched them grow and come to know more and more about Jesus. So when I think back to when I graduated 5th grade, I was that kid who never wanted to leave kids ministry. Obviously, it's still what I'm doing today, so it kind of worked. But youth ministry felt really scary to me. I definitely didn't feel cool enough to be a part of youth ministry. And on our promotion Sunday, they would open up a portion of the wall. And it was dark, and there were tons of lights, and there was fog, and you would walk in through this tunnel of students. And it was totally not what I wanted to be doing in that moment. And it just heightened my awareness that I did not want to participate in youth ministry because it was unknown and it was scary. And so over the years, both kids ministry leaders and student ministry leaders have learned a thing or two about how to be intentional with this transition and how to encourage and equip both parents and kids to make the transition from kids to youth as seamless and as easy as possible. Those scary things and scary emotions will still be there, but I hope that these 3 P's that we'll walk through will help you and your students team work together to really help families transition well. Whether you move kids up at the beginning of the summer or at the end, it is important to take some time and think intentionally how you are going to make this transition. You want to prepare your parents and students. You want to practice what it will look like to be a part of students, and you want to party it up. You want to celebrate big. You want to send these kids off with the biggest celebration and the biggest excitement because this is fun and it's a big deal. So let's jump into those 3 P's and make the most of this transition from kids ministry to student ministry. All right, let's focus on our first P, which is prepare. Now, most 5th graders are counting down the days until they say sayonara to kids ministry and head into student ministry. They are tired of the crafts, the stories, the games, the snacks, all the things. They are so excited about being with the bigger kids and being a part of student ministry. So most of your prepare time will be focused on parents. If you talk to a parent of a 4th and 5th grader, most of them are super anxious and nervous about this preteen and teenager phase. A great way to prepare your parents is to work with your student or youth ministry team and to plan a 5th grade parent night. Now, this night is important because both kids staff and youth staff will be present at this meeting. Parents get to ask questions and they get to learn about and get to know the youth ministry staff. They get to meet other parents that also have graduating 5th graders, and they just get to ease some of those anxieties that they have about youth ministry. Now, the perfect time to host a 5th grade parent night is probably in the early spring or in the summertime, depending on when you will have that promotion Sunday. This meeting is also a really important time to share special summer or fall dates. Get those Wednesday night events on the calendar. Get that fall retreat or that summer camp or that winter camp or those big youth ministry dates that you want the kids not to miss out on. So make sure you have those dates lined up and ready to go so parents can get them on the calendar at that meeting. Other ways you can prepare your parents are add them to the youth ministry email list. This can be done maybe in January before their 5th graders graduate, just so that parents get to know the communication rhythms, get to hear from the youth ministry staff, and kind of get to see what's happening in youth ministry before their students actually enter into the program. Another way is resourcing them with books and podcasts about teenage development, about technology, and about parenting in those teenager years. So much of preparing your parents is cueing them in onto what they're about to experience with their child. And so this is a great way to say, hey, check out this podcast or check out this book that has been really helpful for parents who have gone before you. And then the last example of preparing parents is just helping them connect with other youth ministry families. It's always really great to be able to connect with parents who are in a similar season. And so find ways to connect them. Maybe that's through a home group, a community group, a discipleship group, Sunday morning connection options. Maybe it's an event that's happening outside. Maybe you do a parent training at the same time as your Wednesday night student programming. There's a lot of ways to get creative on how you can connect parents. Now let's move on to our second P, practice. So this is the time where you get to focus on those graduating fifth graders and give them a sneak peek into what youth ministry actually looks like. It can be super overwhelming for a graduating fifth grader to jump into youth ministry for the first time, especially if they don't have an older sibling or they're newer to your church community and don't really know. They don't really know what youth ministry is all about. And they may not know where to go or what to expect or even what time things are. And that could turn into a huge hurdle and keep kids from actually attending the youth ministry events. Right? No one wants to go into a situation that is full of a lot of unknowns. And so this is your time to really educate the kids and so they know and feel confident walking into that youth ministry space. So the months and weeks leading up to your big promotion Sunday, you can calm any anxieties that these kids may have by doing a couple of these things that can help them practice. So the first thing is inviting your youth ministry staff into the kids ministry world on a Sunday morning or if you have a midweek program. Now this is key because your kids know the large group room. They know the small group room. So bringing the youth ministry staff into the kids world just allows them to be in a safe spot where they can explore what's happening next and the changes and all those fun things. And so this is the time for kids to ask questions, get to know the youth ministry staff, get to know who they are, get to know what they like, ask questions, play games, laugh a little bit, do all of those exciting and fun things that allow the youth ministry staff to get to know the kids and for the kids to get to know the staff. I mean, how awesome would it be for a kid to walk into youth ministry for the first time and to have the youth director or a youth pastor already know the kids' names? That is a huge connection point in welcoming those kids and making them know that they have a space in your ministry and they belong and they're in the right space. The second easy way to practice is to host a preview Sunday or even host a couple preview Sundays. And that's taking your fifth graders to the student section for the day and let them experience it. Put them in the back of the room and let them just watch. Don't expect anything from them. And I'm sure you'll get some kids who raise their hand and they're like, oh, I want to play the game, or I want to comment, or I want to do whatever. But for the most part, this time is for the kids to experience it and just watch what happens. Now, maybe your programming is a little bit different and maybe your students don't experience Sunday morning programming and maybe it happens throughout the week or Sunday night or just different from the typical kids ministry programming. You can still host a preview time. Just invite kids to come. That doesn't need to be this big thing that happens on Sunday morning. Just invite them to come into the youth ministry space. And maybe they bring parents, maybe they don't. But just allowing kids to experience it will just help them get to know and know what to expect. Our third and final P is party. Now this is the last, but certainly the most fun part about graduating your kids. You want to party. You want to celebrate them. You want to send them off with a big celebration that's worth remembering. Not only do you want to create a fun environment for celebrating, but how can you use this time in a party setting to speak words of encouragement and wisdom into their life as they move on to what's next? Here are some ideas. You can host a graduation dinner and invite the whole family, right? You can use this dinner to speak truth over them. And even you could ask the parents to get involved and write letters or also speak words of wisdom into their child that's about to move into youth ministry, right? In the middle school and high school years, there's a lot of things going around and you want kids to remember who they are, but also whom they belong to and that they are a child of God. And so you can use this specific party and this specific moment in this transition period to remind them who they are in Christ and that no matter what happens, they are always a son and daughter of the King. The second way that you can party is you could have a party on Sunday morning, right? Get all the kids involved, celebrating the graduating kids in front of their friends. How fun is that? Right? Throw a party, have a cake, have cupcakes, whatever. Just make it a celebration. And this is also a really fun way to invite the other kids, right? They're still moving up a grade, and that could be a really exciting time for them too, moving from kindergarten to first grade or third grade to fourth grade. And maybe you have different rooms that they're moving into. And so you could throw one big promotion Sunday party. How fun is that? All right, the last way that you can party is to recognize the graduating kids in the adult service. Bring the entire church into the celebration and spend a few minutes praying for these kids as they move into youth ministry, right? The whole church is called to raise up this next generation of believers, not just the kids ministry staff and not just the parents, right? We want the whole church involved in speaking and teaching the gospel to the next generation of believers. And this is a great way to naturally put it in front of their face so that they know, hey, these are the kids that are heading into youth ministry. Let's pray for them and commit to praying for them over and over again as they enter into this new season. So this is an exciting season for your kids and for your families. So don't miss an opportunity to celebrate these milestones and remind them of the gospel. So a couple more things that people like to do on Promotion Sunday is they like to give gifts. So whether that's a new Bible or a new devotional or a journal, those are all great things to hand out to kids that are graduating. If you've been around that ministry for a while, you could write notes in their journals or in their Bibles. You could ask the parents to get involved. You can ask your volunteers to get involved. If you've had a specific volunteer who's been in a small group of graduating fifth graders, how sweet would that be to allow that volunteer to be a part of this celebration process? So I would just encourage you to bring people into the celebration, allow people to celebrate these kids well. Don't forget to work with your student ministry team as they are planning on welcoming these new kids, and just have a great and such a sweet time celebrating these kids. All right, friends, those are our 3 P's to Promotion Sunday. If you would like to learn more about Kids Ministry Circle and get access to more great resources, you can head over to kidsministrycircle.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get more great videos like this sent right to you. Thanks, you guys. See you later.